So you're the man everyone believes hold power to the people. How close are we?
Well, we have momentum. We're making progress. We're producing more power than when I took office. We're transmitting more power than when I took office. And we're distributing more power than when I took office. So that's progress. And these numbers are made public: 7,000 in production, 7,125 now in transmission, 5,000 now in distribution.
And 2,000 unevacuated.
Yes, and 2,000 unevacuated.
That's quite a lot.
Yes, it's a lot, and more power coming in the year. So we are addressing policy and action that will help us evacuate the 2,000 that is there now. And one of the policy initiatives is the eligible customer declaration and the regulations that followed, and also to diversify our energy away from the grid to mini grids and independent distribution. So a lot has happened in 2 years, and some signs of progress are obviously manifesting, but we are still on the first phase of our journey of incremental power. Compared to 2016, 2017 was a better year in terms of experience for power. People reported a reduction in consumption of diesel, reduction in petrol for the purpose of running generators, and when they had to, they also reported reduced hours of generator operations. We want to improve on that in 2018. We want to improve on meter supply. We want to improve on reduction of incidents of estimated billing, but it's a journey, it's not an event, and all of the processes are in place, and we have momentum, and we're going to continue to ride on that momentum.
The Escavos gas pipeline fire accident was quite a shocker to the nation. Was it a shock to you? Were you prepared for incidences of such happening and triggering off the grid?
Well, I felt a sense of setback coming from where we were coming from in 2016, when pipelines went off almost every day. One pipeline explosion 10 months after. It's not such a bad place to be, but the best place to be is really to have no pipeline explosion. Now, we're still conducting investigations, what caused this, and whether it was sabotage, whether it was an accident. Until I get the reports, I really cannot say more. But one pipeline incident, pipeline explosions are things we actually watch in movies when nations are at war. And they try to incapacitate the enemy nation by going area for their fuel line supply. So when you watch those old movies of the 70s, Rambo, Dogs of War, and those are so hopefully one day that's where we will keep them and they won't happen again. That's why at our meeting
in Nigerian movies, not in real.
Yes, that's why at our monthly meeting in Nassau yesterday, one of the highlights of my monthly remarks was that all of us, beyond NNPC, beyond the gas operators, beyond the gas suppliers, owe a duty to protect those pipelines, to monitor what happens around them, to report unusual activity around them. So it's more than NNPC's responsibility. It's an asset that provides for all of us. So after 3, 4, 5 months of improved power, 1 day of gas disruption, everybody felt the impact immediately. And that's how important it is for us to protect.
How much cooperation is going on between your ministry and the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC? It looks like these 3 institutions, including your ministry, which is much bigger, holds what you call the energy sector of Nigeria.
Well, there is true that, and if you see the way it's captured in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, it's energy and power that are twins, as it were. in the president's articulation of them. And there is a lot of synergy and cooperation between us from time to time. I think that it is not just sheer coincidence that the Minister of State for Petroleum sits right next to me in cabinet. So I get to know at least what the gas situation is, what is likely to be, and so on and so forth. But we get a lot of interagency cooperation also. The Nigerian Gas Transportation Company, which is the key driver of the gas supply, sends us daily reports of how much gas is in the system, how much gas is supplied, if there's a problem, what they are doing with it. And I like to publicly acknowledge the cooperation that comes from there. And really and truly, that's what government really is all about. It's actually a team. Just like you have a football team with departments. So if you're scoring goals and the defense is letting them in, you won't win a match. So, and if you're not conceding goals and you're not scoring, you won't win a match too. There must be that synergy. So, and I think that the more our people understand that governance is actually teamwork, and the more mature, the longer the team stays together, the better ordinarily they should become. And that's why I say we're in a place now where we have momentum. We spent about a year plus trying to really get a feel and grasp of it, and the synergy between us is getting better. So we've set up structures where by the time they were finishing the gas repairs on Sunday night, I was getting on-the-spot information that is finished. I was getting information that they are pressure testing it. By Monday morning, before I got to the meeting in Nasarawa, I was getting information that the gas supply had reached Olorun-Shogo, it had reached Egme, and that's the kind of synergy that is beginning to build. And also, you will see, we didn't own or manage the gas pipeline, but immediately the incident happened, we got information, and we were then able to brief the public what had happened. These are not usual occurrences of the past.
You've met with the private sector operators on a regular basis over the last few months and a year plus.
A lot. First of all, the meetings have afforded me to visit almost all the power plants. It has afforded me the opportunity to visit many of our transmission substations to see what is going on in terms of expansion, upgrade, repair. It has also afforded me the opportunity to visit the National Control Center in Oshogbo. I've also visited all the discos without exception. So and also it has afforded me the opportunity to experience and hear firsthand from the various communities what their local issues are. So yesterday, for example, in Nasarawa, we commissioned a substation in Kefi that will serve major communities like Toto, Loko, Nasarawa, Kefi Town, and so on, around that place. We also commissioned an injection substation in Lafia that will also serve the State House of Assembly in terms of distribution now. The first one was a transmission substation, this is a distribution injection station. The various communities there, the university. So we did the same thing in Delta when we visited Delta. I think that was our December meeting in Asaba. And we did the same thing in Kogi. No, Delta was November. I think December was our meeting in Kogi. And this is what we do. So it helps me to really get to the local issues and hear what is going on in terms of service delivery. And it also gives insight into the challenges that the operators themselves are facing in terms of their operation.